Hello and thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalist Hangouts. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gbajabiamila, begs US to assist Nigeria in defeating Boko Haram as NLC seek new strategy in the war against terrorism. 16 family members burned to death by bandits in Kaduna State. And later on the show, Oyo Local Government crisis persists as out-of-court settlement runs into a ditch. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade-Otitoju and Olayinka Oyegbile, who will be making his debut for the year 2020. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Now, ability to court support of allies is one of the time-tested strategies to win a war. As the war against Boko Haram in Nigeria drags on, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gbajabiamila, is calling on the United States to assist the country in defeating the insurgents. Gbajabiamila told U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Leonard, during a meeting in Abuja, that Nigerians were worried about the lingering insecurity in many parts of the country and are looking up to America for assistance to tackle the challenges. In the same vein, President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Ayuba Wabba, wants government and the security forces to evolve new strategy targeting sponsors of the insurgents. Babajide, it's becoming worrisome. We've been on this story, we've been on this topic since Monday. And as we finish one edition, new development will unfold 24 hours in the Northeast. Is a very, very trying time. Now, we have the government saying every day that, look, no territories, that Boko Haram is not holding on to any Nigerian territory. And we also have conflicting reports. Even representatives from those areas are saying that, look, I cannot go home. My house is under siege. What do you make of this situation?
Well, the representatives of our people, the National Assembly, they've said repeatedly that some of their hometowns are under Boko Haram control. The statement that Boko Haram does not control any Nigerian territory is just a cheap lie. We know that the Al-Banawi faction, for example, the Al-Banawi faction, which has now broken into two, with Idris coming on as the acting head of that faction now, as endorsed by ISIS. That faction belongs in the Lake Chad area. That faction carried out the abduction of the Dapchi girls. They were taken to the Lake Chad area. Even the testimonies of those girls showed that they crossed a big water. That was how some of them described that. They crossed a big water. You know, we were first to report the Dapchi thing. And TVC was the first to appear live at the scene. Live in that town. We were the first to report live. So we know a lot of what happened. Those girls were taken to the fortress of the Al-Banawi faction in the Lake Chad area, the islands of Lake Chad. Many times, when the armed forces bomb those areas, they even say it, that they bombed their hideout, they bombed their fortress, they bombed their meeting. The places where they sit down to do meetings, to plan attacks, that is where they live. You can't say what you can say, and this is what even the service chief once told me. He said, there is no local government that Boko Haram fully controls anymore. If you say that to me, I agree. Because there are some local governments, the army will be in charge of the headquarters. If you step out by 2 kilometers out, you are in Boko Haram territory. And we had the former governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, say late last year in Chad in Chad that the boys rule the hinterland. That was his language. Nobody can tell me that they don't own any territory. What we need to do is just go ahead, finish the enemy. We don't have to keep saying they do not control. Where do they plan their attacks? Where do they? Someone even told us that we push them to the border communities. Some of those attacks that they've carried out, to move from the border communities to the areas where they stage those attacks, you may need up to 3 hours. So how did they move if they were not inside our territory? You go to release up to 800 persons at once. How do they manage to hold 800 people in one place if they were not in charge of that area? Now, in the Goza area, Goza is in Borno State. Out of 13 wards, the Nigerian army is in control of 2 wards fully.
Out of 13?
Yes, 2 wards.
So 11 is in the hand of...
Now, no, some, like Isgebita, no civilians are staying there, but soldiers are in control of that ward. So that's 3. But nobody can live there. Now, the communities, I'm going to list all those communities. I'll try my best so that it doesn't take so much time. And I know people who live in those areas who bear me witness. Ausari Gada Mayo is 100% safe. Blabli, that's in central Goza. That is where the emir of Goza resides. But that is not his hometown. But that's where he resides. It is 100% safe and in the hands of Nigerian army, controlled by Nigerian army. Guduf is close to the Mandara mountain. It is 100% in the hands of Boko Haram. Kuranabasa, Goshesama. Kuranabasha, Goshesama, that is the hometown of the current commissioner for housing and energy in Borno State. It is in the hands of Boko Haram. Let the commissioner say I'm lying. Hambagda is the hometown of Senator Ali Ndume.
Okay.
That is also the ward. Of the emir of Goza. It is Boko Haram territory.
So
Ali Ndume does not go home. He does not go to his hometown. So I mentioned Isgebita. That is where I said no civilian resides currently. There is Wala, 100% Boko Haram territory.
100%.
Okay. Pulka Poko. In Goza, local government, there are 2 pulkas. The other pulka is safe. That's where they have an IDP, people go there. But this Pulka Poko is Boko Haram territory. Nobody goes there. Chikide, that is the ward of the House of Reps member, Usman Jaha. Usman Jaha once spoke on the floor of the House of Reps to say that his ward, that he comes from Goza and that
It's under siege.
He once talked about it. That's where it comes from. It is Boko Haram territory. Goshe, which is located in Goza East, is also under Boko Haram occupation. Kirawa Jimini, yes. It is along the border with Cameroon. In fact, you just walk 1 kilometer into Cameroon's territory. It is Boko Haram territory. No Nigerian goes there. And it has never been liberated. Gavalga Palwa.
So people from Borno State.
Yes, that Gavalga Palwa used to be dominated by Christians. Because of the insecurity, they've left the town. Many of them are now in Nasarawa. They are in the Kefi area farming. That used to be the main onion and beans belt in this area. But the people have fled. They've left the place to Boko Haram. Finally, Ashigashia is family Boko Haram territory. What has helped Boko Haram to assert itself in this area is the location of the area. The Mandara Mountains, that is where they stay. They understand the terrain. We are chasing them, they climb the Mandara Mountains. If you stay in a community, they want to chase you away. Constantly, they raid the community. They come down from the hill, steal your things, they go back. So once people have noticed that, well, these areas are not safe, they've chosen to leave those communities for them. Nobody goes there to harass them. So they are just hibernating in those areas. There are other communities like that in Borno State where we have left these guys alone. They are doing what they like, you know. So there are other communities. When we go to Borno North, it's even worse. So this is the situation. If anyone asks me, we need help. Wherever help is, we need help. When ISIS overran Iraq, I never believed that the whole of Iraq can be taken back. But it happened. America mobilized support. You had Kurdish separatists and Iranian militias coming to fight together just to chase ISIS out of Iraq, and it was achieved. So,
now, Gbajabiamila is calling for help now, and a lot of people believe Mr. President should be towing this line, calling on bigger countries to help us, since the way it's going, we don't seem to have like an answer to curb these insurgents.
Honestly, the situation in the country now is very scary and frightening. The details that have been rolled out by Babajide,
these are facts that could be cross-checked.
For me, in fact, safe away in Lagos, I still feel frightened that what exactly is happening? Why are we this helpless? We need every country in the world to help us. Look, this is no time to talk about politics and all that. If you are in a situation that is irredeemable and you find somebody that can help you, I don't see any need for you to grandstand and believe or behave as if all is well. No, you see, this is not a time to call people names and dismiss them that whether it's a politician in Kasok, belongs to opposition, or is a whaler or whatever. This is not the time for it. This is the time for action. Look, the Yorubas say that if you confess that you are naked, you will find people around you
who will clothe you.
But if we continue to say we have degraded terrorism, this is insurgency is different from terrorism, we engage in semantics. Look, we should leave semantics to people who are there in the university. We must talk about action. Whether it is called insurgency, it is called terrorism, it is called banditry or whatever. All we know is that the man in Maiduguri, the man in Kaduna, the people who are suffering this are not even interested in your English. All they are interested in is come and rescue us. So what do we need to do? The president must sit down with all political leaders across party lines, military leaders and every community leaders and everyone. Let us sit down, let them sit down together and say that, look, this is an emergency. How do we solve it? If it is an opposition party person that can come on board, bring him or her on board. When the war is over and the guys begins to boast that we help them solve it, Then you ask,
Is
is
it
it
not
not your country?
Is it not your country?
I mean, so this is the time not to call anybody names. And when truth is being told, we must face the truth. We are under a serious threat. We should not think that it is not any serious business and we are capable. No, I think we need to call everyone that can help us here. As somebody once told the late Tasholani that you should not dine with the devil. He said we dine with the devil with a long spoon. We need that now. We must call on every country or the ones that are ready to assist us that look, this is an emergency. How do you help us? What do you come over to Macedonia and help us, please?
Babajide, now Ayuba Waba wants governments and the security forces to evolve new strategy targeting sponsors of the insurgents. How realistic is this? Those people sponsoring the insurgents, we want to know maybe they are from within or outside.
I find it difficult to believe that these insurgents are sponsored from within. I find it difficult. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I'm a realist. I'm a fact-based journalist. Whatever you cannot give me empirical evidence about, don't just tell me. Don't just tell me. The truth is, these guys already belong to a global terrorist group, and they will get funding. Whether we like it or not, they will get funding.
So
the other group that has been ostracized by ISIS, that is the Shekau faction. Shekau faction is the weakest of the factions now. And it shows, because even the other factions they venture into his territory and is unable to do anything to them. But he cannot venture into the territory of the other factions because they are very much on ground and they are strong. So the truth is, funding, with the way they are kidnapping people these days, and you know they didn't just start it. Remember when Boko Haram kidnapped those French missionaries?
Yes.
They had to pay $500,000. $500,000 is a lot of money.
American dollars.
If you take $500,000 to the black market for weapons, you'll be able to buy a lot of things. Weapons stolen from Chad, I mean from Libya.
And the rest.
They come in through Chad. You have access to them. They already have routes through which even those supplies will be delivered to them. And they make sure that they are the ones controlling those routes. When you see Boko Haram fighting the Nigerian army over an insignificant, dusty community.
You know there's something going on.
You put troops there, they attack the troops the first time, they attack them the second time, up to the third time. It is because they want to have exclusive control of that area, because it's the main supply route for them. And without those supplies, you know they are in trouble. They will be out of business in no time. So this is the thing. They make money through this kidnapping that they are doing. Boko Haram deliberately targets these caregivers because they believe these NGOs are financed by, they have foreign sponsors and all that. Oh, if we kidnap these people, they will bring money and all that. They bring foreign currency and all that. And of course, with the money available to them, they can do a lot. I can understand why our president said some time ago that, look, what went on in negotiating for the release of the Chibok girls that time, that he will not allow that to happen again.
Subsequently.
He cannot say everything for Nigerians to know what's going on in government. But what the president is reluctant to do is to, yes, you do it through third party, is to do anything that will ultimately strengthen Boko Haram. Because when you pay ransom, you further endanger your troops.
Exactly.
Because they will buy weapons that they will now use against your troops. So there's a reluctance on our part, and I understand that. I understand family-wide government is reluctant to do business with an enemy that will now profit exceedingly from that. And then put the rest of us in serious trouble. So this is the thing. We have seen that the ransom money is the lifeblood of the enemy. And the Nigerian government is reluctant to negotiate, to part with money in a manner that will further strengthen these guys. So this is the thing. This is the thing. And even the fishing business in the Lake Chad area, they are in charge.
Yeah.
They are in charge. They determine, even some fishermen who unilaterally just went to fish, they slaughter them. So once they are in charge, they'll make a lot of money, and from this money they can run their killing campaign. So it's unfortunate.
You know, in addition to that, the issue of the fishing business. When last did we hear of Argungu Fishing Festival? It was partly because of this that they had to scale it down or stop it, because you can't guarantee you can't guarantee people's safety when they go for the festival and all that. And even the whole atmosphere has been polluted. I mean, it's no longer safe for people to do business there. And talking of the NLC that is talking about looking for the sponsors and all that, we shouldn't go that way now. Because now, some years back, when PDP was in power, it was the belief that some people were sponsoring it.
Remember the former governor of Adama.
Pointedly pointing towards the opposition party. Now APC is in power. If you say some sponsors, you are... So we should not even bother ourselves with that, especially when you cannot firmly establish that. What we should be talking about is how to degrade them entirely. Things have gotten so bad that
they appear more
we can come to the studio and talk and do all that. But people who are in the eye of the storm, they know what they are facing. So that is what you...
You know what even frightens me? Is the fact that it was in the rainy season that they used to be active.
Yeah.
But this is dry season, they are very active.
So I have my first caller. Thank you, Sunday. Thank you for calling us.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead with your contribution.
My name is Dominic from London.
Okay, Dominic from London.
I just want to thank you guys for this program. I've been following you since session, you know. You guys have done a lot. I just want to thank Babajide and you more especially, you know, for calling the question. And Babajide, you know, giving the correct answer to it, and my fellow brother there.
Thank you.
But there's something that gives me concern. If you watch online, there's a place where, either in 2016 ending, when our president said he gave $2.1 billion to people to go and fight. And this thing was shared in the hotel. And that question was being posed by Mr. Namapo. Is that not giving us concern? Is military men isolated from EFCC? Are they isolated from EFCC? That's one question. Another question, I want to praise the guy with Paru, who's in charge of Air Force. We follow online. I think what he's doing. He's doing a fantastic job. I like that guy. I don't know him. But I will subscribe to him in Cuba. But every other person will change. Because we are not seeing the such person moving forward.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you, Dominic from the United Kingdom. You know, where do we go from here?
Let's look for help. I believe that if I've said before that we underrated Boko Haram, especially this administration. Because the moment the president came, even some of his comments showed that he felt that they could be overrun within a short time. And he should have allowed Chadian troops to remain here a lot, longer. Because there was some impetus that the Chadian troops brought when they were fighting here. Rapidly, they moved and they took over those territories on Boko Haram. Very professional, and they lost many of their men. Dozens of their fighters, of their soldiers were killed here. But you know, is a very seasoned fighting group. And they did a good job here. We need countries like that. When you came in and you said, oh, how are the mighty falling? How can a country come and help us to fight? When America sees that it cannot defeat an enemy alone, no country is better than America at mobilizing support.
Yeah.
It doesn't even want to go to any war alone anymore. So let us not to say, okay, how are the mighty falling? Well, it doesn't mean that this country and Cameroon and Niger and Chad were affected by insurgency. There was a time that President Biya had to call Chad to come and help them dislodge Boko Haram from their territory. Today, those countries are a lot safer. Yes, Boko Haram still attacks those countries, but not on the scale that they are attacking us in our own country.
The full scale.
All we want is for peace to reign. We don't want Boko Haram to continue to kill our people like flies. Because look at even the governor in Borno State. He's distracted from governance.
I'm telling you.
But the issue of
to concentrate on the welfare of the people.
Today coming to engage soldiers, this and that, it shouldn't be happening.
Visiting
He should face
the
his
scene.
work. Yes. You know, he should face his work, and it's because of what is happening. Some people are even abusing him that why should he confront soldiers? Are soldiers not human beings? If soldiers are doing something wrong, what is bad in confronting them? Are you elevating soldiers to the level of deity or what? You just can't be corrected. Look at what happened. You can't lock a gate and refuse to provide any form of cover for them. And then someone complains about that. You are saying that he is confronting the soldier. So are we a military regime that you cannot talk to a soldier anymore? So this is the thing. Let's just, wherever help is, let's look for it. Let the nonsense of just killing our people like flies, let it stop. Let it stop.
All right, still to come. Bandits storm Kaduna village, burn 16 family members to death in dastardly acts. We'll be right back after this breather. Stay with us. Welcome back. Still Journalist Hangout. A tragic day it was for residents of Bakali village in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State when bandits stormed the community to cause mayhem. 16 members of the same family were burnt to death by the bandits who invaded the community on Tuesday, setting fire on grains, vehicles and motorcycles in the village. It was said that the bandits locked up the 16 family members in a room and set fire on the house. A member of the community, Sani Bakali, said more than 100 bandits visited that calamity on them. Today, we move from northeast now to Kaduna, where they are having their own fair share of insecurity.
Yes, bandits who used to operate in the Zamfara Katsina area have relocated largely to Kaduna and Niger State. So Kaduna is having its own share of banditry at this time. That's why I said yesterday that, look, the attack on these fellows must be sustained. And you cannot attack them by simply isolating a state. All of the states contiguous to Kaduna, you have to sustain the attack.
All around.
So that, because you know where they are, in each of those states, people know the camp of these bandits now. They know. They know. The Air Force knows the camp of these bandits. So we should go and waste them. We should waste them. Because these are the people kidnapping people, going from house to house in Kaduna to kidnap people. It made life miserable for people. So this is the thing. It's the same way they operate in Zamfara. They will come on motorbikes, storm a village, steal what they can steal. They can steal your cattle, or livestock generally, steal some of your food. They will bring a trailer. They will even force you to load the cattle that they've stolen from you, to load it with your own hand into the trailer. And then they'll go away.
It will take a long time to carry out such operation without rescue.
This one happened around 4 p.m. 4 p.m. in broad daylight. The truth is, a lot of our villages are not accessible. You saw that when I went to Dansabao, You saw the video of the road. A road that normally, a trip that normally should take 18 minutes. I spent 2.5 hours. So this is the thing. How do you then, if you even raise an alarm, how do the police get there? Before the police get there, they will have left. Don't also forget, those guys too, they are well armed. So they can even stand up to the police. Yeah. They can stand up, as it happened in this village in Gbajabiamila local government that I went to the last time. They stood up to the police. And when the police and even the combined armed forces team, when they saw that they were going to run out of firepower, they had to leave. So those guys now overwhelmed the villagers. So this is the thing.
Yinka, from the look of this particular one now, from the Boko Haram menace now to bandits, a lot of people will tell you that you still have same set of people, some guys with the same sophisticated ammunition and, causing mayhem.
You know, the situation has become so horrible that on a daily basis, take front pages of 5-10 Nigerian newspapers. It is this issue of either kidnapping here, killing there, and all that there. You tune to TV stations, it is the same thing. Now, you now sit down, is this reality? Or are you watching a horror movie or some magical realism? Is what you are reading. So, everything needs to be done to rein in this problem. We are in a situation where nobody is safe any longer. When Boko Haram attacks a village, some other bandits go to another one, they kidnap people, take away, see weapons everywhere. The weapon has become very, very accessible to everyone.
Can they recover weapons?
Possibly just like pure water.
See this lineup as if where is this? You think is it an exhibition of gun? Is it an exhibition of gun? Is it a gun parade or something?
How do they get this?
Where do we go from here? Where did all this come from? Where did all this come from? How do we mop up all these weapons? It is a big job for the security agencies and for every one of us. We see, we talk. We must not keep quiet. Because if we keep quiet today, tomorrow is there. What do we do? How do we make sure that all these things are controlled? People get weapons from where? Our borders need to be more policed, more effectively. Because how do these weapons get into this place? How do we get them? Who are the importers? Or where did we get the money to buy? I mean, this thing now is just like going to the next street to buy a sachet of water. So we need every hand on the deck to know what to do. In fact, sometimes I don't even want to consider it because it becomes so scary. It becomes so frightening. What do we do? How do we solve this problem? Look at all these young boys who should be either on the farm or in school or in some learning some technical artisan job and so on.
These are the people easily conscripted into Boko Haram.
Exactly. These are the people running around with guns.
All our highways now, that local Abuja highway now, you can't be sure.
You can't be sure.
You can't be sure. It's extremely dangerous. They'll just step out of the bush and start shooting at people. You know? And if you don't stop, you are a driver, you fail to stop, they will aim your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they shoot to kill. Once you don't stop, it's the head. I've seen pictures. I don't even know who gives these people training in weapons handling. All of these things, we need a thorough investigation
because you can't
to unravel how do they come How do they get the weapons? Because without those weapons, they are powerless.
Yes.
How do they get these weapons?
Who
are
gave
the
them
big
training?
who are the big arms merchants? Because illicit weapons in circulation in Nigeria is approaching an alarming level now. Because that is what all of these people are using. I saw a video of a group of bandits, Casino bandits. They had RPG. They had AA. Long rounds of ammunition, magazines. I said, how do these people get these things?
Enough gun trucks.
They have. All that they need. So that once they storm a community, even if you have vigilante, they will cross over.
Of course.
Overwhelm them.
The governor of Zamfara then, Yari, he set up a vigilance force now. But they could not stand these guys. These guys are better armed than them. Even the man whose wife was kidnapped, the doctor, that was what happened. He built a police post. He donated the police post to the police. Then they set up in the area, they set up a vigilance team. But these guys came, overwhelmed the vigilantes, and then moved in and kidnapped the woman from her room. Took her and her children away.
Killed her.
And then eventually riddled her body with bullets. Oh, people who have not offended you, you walk into a seminary, and just shoot people. I can understand. That's why the Reverend Father Kuka is using such words that you would not naturally not expect him to use.
Yeah.
Because he's from Kaduna State.
Pain to the heart.
Foremost, he's a Christian. He's watching the killing of seminarians. There's no way that it will not bother him. All that he wants is let this problem be solved. Yeah. Although I do not approve of some of the language. But we have to put
no, it's a language of a hot man.
It's a language of someone hungry.
Yeah.
We have to put pressure on our government to do the needful.
Yeah.
Look, if the government, when the government does the needful and is successful, that is the best revenge against those who do not see anything good in the government.
Exactly.
When Buhari gets right security.
Exactly.
The people who have been taunting us and saying all kinds of things, they will shut up.
They will shut up.
But if Buhari does not get hold of the security situation, and you expect that they will keep quiet, you are calling them whalers. You are wasting your time. They will not keep quiet. When they keep quiet, it's like they've suffered what you call political suicide. No, they will continue to harass you. Yeah. But when you do something, they can see that there's nothing to complain about. They will keep quiet. So this is the thing. Government should go out, solve this problem so that they can shut up the critics of the government. I want to see that happen. I want to see that happen. When you shut the critics of the government, who is complaining about Zamfara now? How many people have abused the governor who is there now? Because he solved the problem.
He solved the problem.
No matter how expensive it is. The killing of people in Zamfara from village to village, it has stopped. It has stopped. Are we still debating Zamfara?
No.
Do we still write it among our topics? No, that is the thing. When Buhari finally tackles this security challenge, nobody will talk about it anymore.
All right. And finally, Oyo State, the rope and the fowl sitting on it and not having mutual discomfort. Peace seems to have eluded the pace-setter states since the dissolution of council administration by Governor Seyi Makinde in May 2019. An out-of-court settlement initiated by the state governments to resolve the crisis suffered a setback when parties involved failed to reach a compromise at the first sitting in Ibadan. The disagreements, we are told, stemmed from requests for a position paper by the sacked officials of the APC team from the state government. Nika, have you been following this? What's brewing?
Incidentally, I'm from Oyo State, so now, you see, honestly, what I've seen happening in Oyo State is not different from what has happened or what is happening in other states. When a different government from the past one comes into power, they dissolve the local government. The issue here, why this one continues to experience this controversy, I guess, maybe because the affected local government chairman went to court. Okay. Maybe that was why. Because now, I want to see a situation where politics is played in a matured way in Nigeria. Why should a local government that has a lifespan of 2-3 years come in, maybe when maybe they've spent a year and the new governor comes in, and feels that he must dissolve them. And when he dissolves them and hold election, a local government, a state that has 16 local governments and is controlled by the former party that was that is no longer in power, they come in, the new party also controls the 16 local government. Where does that happen? So now we must reach a point where maturity will take, but I'm afraid that point may not come soon. Because the type of politicians we have across board, this is not whether they are APC, APGA, PDP, or whatever. They are all the same, birds of a feather. What we need to do, I don't know how we're going to do it, is can we have INEC controlling local government election? But that will also go against the federal
principle of federalism.
Exactly.
But
so,
even the National Assembly is considering that.
So what do we do? Because honestly, we have a situation here. We would know some years back in Lagos where a certain candidate won a local government. He was not allowed to be sworn in.
Yes.
They went and went and went. Till today, the candidate did not. They didn't allow the candidate to.
In Niger too.
So why do we have that?
As
See,
if it must never happen.
If you are in APC today, your party is in power in Lagos, you control the whole local government. Tomorrow, APC is in Oyo at the same time with Lagos. Then power changes and in Oyo it becomes PDP. The PDP will do the same thing APC has done in Lagos. But the APC in Lagos will complain that what is happening in Oyo is wrong, when they themselves in their own homestead are doing the same thing. What do we do? Look, there is nowhere that politics, every one of us must agree that we belong to the same party. So there must be a way to solve this problem. And how do we find this way to solve it? That is the thing. Because politics is not a one-story affair. There must be hues and colors and variety to make it good, to make it bubble.
Jide, Governor Seyi Makinde has been advised by the Attorney General, and they've reached out to the Inspector General of Police, and Seyi Makinde has even offered that, okay, out-of-court settlements with the chairman involved. Now, do you see this working?
They've had two meetings. They've had two meetings, not just one. And both meetings were deadlocked. This last time, the APC, the local government chairman, came with a position paper. A position paper is like, okay, my interest. Because you go into every negotiation from a position of strength. They felt that, well, given the letters written by the Attorney General and the IG, that they were in a kind of position of strength, the government of Oyo State was already under some pressure. Okay. And then, thankfully, the Oyo State governor agreed to an out-of-court settlement, because it was Oyo State government that went to the Oyo High Court to ensure that the council chairman do not act upon those two letters by going to take over the councils. Because when an Attorney General says, look, the Supreme Court has given this verdict, you know how strong.
Directed the IG.
So they went to court. The Oyo State government went to court to stop them from acting upon those two letters. The government has always said, yes, we are in court. There are two cases even at the level of appeal. But the truth is, no one goes into the negotiation room without a set of what I call desires, a kind of wish list.
Yeah.
What do I want out of this? This is my position. And those chairmen are saying, well, we must return to our councils. Our councillors must return. Even the chief of staff in our councils must return. This, you know, you don't negotiate from the position of weakness. You want, so when you go there, the negotiation continues. Then you can decide to pull back a little bit and say, okay, I'm ready to make some concessions. I believe that that will be the next phase now, since both the court has adjourned till February 21st to enable them, by no means an out-of-court settlement in a protracted struggle like this can never be easy. No. Both sides will stiffen their positions, but I believe that there's still time between now and the time when the judge expects them to return to give him feedback. The way it is, both sides need to make concessions. If Makinde, if all of those guys come back, Makinde and his people will feel that they were so thoroughly defeated. Yeah. You know, and you know, ego and all that will set in that what's going on. But if I were Makinde, I would not have gone to this extent. Go to Zamfara. Matawale has succeeded in winning the council chairman to his party. They've defected to PDP. And that's what he should have done. Woo them to your side. Tell them that, look, I mean well, come and work with me. Let's take this state to the next level. Because the good thing is that the kind of control that governors thought they had over local governments, where Fayemi will take over the government today, the next thing is dissolving. The man with the white beard, you know, will take over today, the next thing is dissolving. That's what all of them do. You know, it can't continue anymore. The Supreme Court has affirmed that this is illegal. Someone elected, you cannot remove him from office, just like that. So something must give. Between election lawyer, I think that's the name of the Algon, Abbas election lawyer, and the of Algon in Oyo, and the Oyo State team, GSM's team, they have to come together and make concessions. Because at the end of the day, what the judge wants to see is
you have settled.
That you have settled.
Before the next adjournment.
Before no, they are wasting each other's time. Now, 3 cases still in court at this stage. When will those cases be resolved? And I'm sure that the IG2, where he is, he has already had a meeting with GSM. He had a meeting with the GSM. I'm sure the IG is already feeling impatient that this thing is dragging on for too long. And in any case, he may just send his people to take over those councils and put the people who won the last election there. So what do you want to do? Do you want to...
why is peculiar to Seyi Makinde now? I think after that Supreme Court judgment, we've had other governors, as Jide mentioned earlier, that have flouted that particular law.
Well,
Governor of Ekiti, Governor of Ondo.
That was a long time ago.
That was the question I was asking. That was it that because the local government chairman this time went to court, or they have a strong lawyer?
The timing of the judgment. And the timing of the judgment was a factor.
But the question: why must a party be ruling the state, in local government, everywhere, the world and everything? It shouldn't be.
A winner takes all things.
Look, honestly, maybe that's why I'm not a politician. The way it should be is that you will perform so well that they will have no option but to join you and say that, oh, let us move ahead and move this state forward. But what do we have?
He just distracted himself by
exactly.
this thing. Honestly, that's the way I say it. You are a governor who started well. You are distracting yourself.
Honestly,
if I were him, you don't need this controversy.
Exactly.
You don't need this controversy.
It doesn't.
You don't need it at all.
This has been
Those guys were elected. As long as they were elected, no matter how crooked the election was, it's on record that they were elected.
And it's 2-3 years Senate.
And then you make
should have reached out to them. They will have defected.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
You make sure you do well, and then they
that's how
will
to play politics now.
look at Imo State right now from 0 to.
When did that one become governor? That almost everybody has joined it.
I'm telling you.
It's not just on the streets. That's how they are defecting too. It's not those guys alone that are defecting. They are not the only one.
He came with no member of House of Assembly. In 2 weeks after,
he became a majority.
From
0 to majority.
Honestly.
Imo wonder.
Nah, man. Oyegbile, welcome back. Welcome back
Thank
from
you
Texas.
very much. Yeah.
Hope you rested well.
Oh yes, it's nice to be back.
Thank you, BKO too.
Thank you.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program and watch journalists hang out on our platforms showing on the screen. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.